Hey, Bill Shaka here, welcoming you to another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. Welcome to Tamarindo, Costa Rica. Ladies and gentlemen, standard disclaimer, one take wonder, so you may be hearing noises in the background. I noticed that there's some work being done on the swimming pool, so you may be hearing some clicking and clanging and banging and screaming in Spanish. Anyway, just in case that happens, you know why. I'd like to talk today about something that I call graceful decay and the psychology of atrophy. Years ago, and when I say years ago, I'm talking about the mid-1960s, my parents rented a house from four unmarried women who were from Ireland. Three of the unmarried women were school teachers in the Pennsylvania school system. They came from Ireland. They went to college. I'm not sure if they had master's degrees or not. I mean, they went to school back in the 1930s, I'm sure. So I'm not sure if they had master's degrees, but they were pretty high up in the teaching profession in northeastern Pennsylvania back in the 40s and 50s. That's when they were doing their really great work right after World War II. And the older sister never went to college. She basically just took care of the house and the other three sisters. Well, years went by, and these sisters were very they portrayed being well-to-do, and well they should have. I mean, here we had three salaries coming into one house. The house was owned. Their brother was a doctor, so money was never an issue, and they dressed the part. Now, keep in mind, if you've ever seen old movies from the 40s and so forth, you've seen these hats that women used to wear. They kind of look like birthday cakes or wedding cakes, all stacked on top of each other. And they always wore these flowing types of dresses that. Again, if you watched old movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. It was about somewhere in the mid-1970s. I was probably still in high school, so I didn't have a car. And I took a bus down to the main street of the town that I lived in. We were no longer renting from these four sisters. And one of them was sitting on the bus in her flowing dress and her big wedding cake hat, and her nylons that she had on were they were wrinkled and creasy, and the dress was unkempt, and the hat was askew. And the end result was that I got the impression that she was trying to live the 1940s in the 1970s, and that's where I came up with the term graceful decay. You can tell she was still trying her best, but it was obvious there was a disconnect in current reality versus the perceived reality of 30 years ago, where she was still living. And this occurred to me at the time, and again, I was a teenager, but it's something that I'm getting into a recorded format now, is that we all need to avoid this notion of graceful decay, and by that we need to keep up with whatever the world thinks makes sense. Maybe I know about a year and a half ago I was made fun of because I had my phone on a belt clip. And somebody said, "Hey, where'd you get that belt clip from? Did your father leave it for you?" And it occurred to me that I wasn't really keeping up. Little things like that we can do to make sure, here's the point, that people concentrate on us and not the physical accoutrements around us. Graceful decay, the psychology of atrophy. Don't let that happen. Be aware. Be on top of your physical demeanor. Be on top of your mental acuity. And we will never enter into the notion of graceful decay. Bill Shocker thanking you for attending another edition of the 5 Minute Motivator. Looking forward to seeing you in the next. Bye-bye.